What's up, guys? It's Vikrenx. Welcome back. Alright, let's be completely real. June is usually when the summer gaming drought starts to creep in, and this month isn't exactly breaking records. But while it might look a little slow on paper, if you dig beneath the surface, there are actually some really solid drops worth your time. I've ranked the top 9 games you need to be ready for this month. Let's go. First up, on June 3rd, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is finally shedding its PlayStation exclusivity and landing on Xbox Series and the brand new Nintendo Switch 2. If you haven't played this yet, it is a massive, beautiful open-world RPG masterpiece that follows Cloud, Tifa, and Barret as they explore the massive world outside the walls of Midgar. It combines high-speed tactical action combat with massive regions to explore, deep minigames, and a stellar story. But for hardware and tech enthusiasts, the real talking point here is pure optimization and performance. We're all waiting to see exactly how Square Enix manages to downscale and optimize this massive resource-heavy current-gen game for the Switch 2's mobile hardware. If they can get this running smoothly with the system's new handheld boost features, it is going to serve as the ultimate benchmark test for what Nintendo's new console can actually handle. Whether you're double dipping for portable play or jumping in for the first time on Xbox, this is a massive drop to kick off the very first week of June. The very next day, on June 4th, horror and puzzle fans are getting a total ground-up reconstruction of a legendary 90s cult classic with the 7th Guest Remake. This version drops you right back into the foreboding mansion of the creepy toy maker Henry Stoff, where you have to solve an entire house full of mind-bending puzzles to uncover a dark, sinister mystery. What makes this remake incredibly fascinating from a production standpoint is the cutting-edge technology they used to bring it to life. Instead of standard 3D character models, the developers used brand new volumetric video capture. They actually recorded real live action actors and turned those performances into full 3-dimensional ghosts that haunt the rooms. As you move around the mansion, the environments dynamically shift, warp, and trigger clever optical illusions around you, making the entire atmosphere feel incredibly immediate and unsettling. If you love deep, atmospheric puzzle games that make your skin crawl, this is going to be a perfect weekend play to test your brain. The 7th Guest Remake launches on PS5, Xbox Series, PC, and Switch. Heading right into the weekend on June 5th, PC and current-gen consoles are getting a legendary PC RPG rebuilt completely from scratch, the Gothic 1 Remake. This drops you straight into the unforgiving penal colony of Carinus, surrounded by a massive magic barrier where 3 rival combat camps fight for control. There's absolutely zero modern hand-holding here. The nameless hero starts out with absolutely no skills, and the local wildlife will completely destroy you if you wander past the safe path early on. The developers at Alchemia Interactive have completely modernized the visual style using Unreal Engine 5. Expanding the map with new camp-specific quests and a fully professionalized orc language. They've also completely overhauled the original, notoriously janky combat system to make melee and magic feel fluid, while keeping the harsh, unforgiving DNA of the original game completely intact. If you are tired of modern RPGs treating you like a child and you want a living, breathing world that reacts to your choices, this needs to be on your radar. Moving into the next week on June 8th, we are switching gears completely for Solarpunk. If the brutal, punishing world of Gothic isn't your vibe, this is a gorgeous, cozy survival crafting game set entirely across a massive cluster of floating islands. Instead of constantly fighting off monsters, your primary goal here is pure engineering, building, and automation. You get to construct your own custom home base, farm rare crops, and explore the skies using a fully upgradable airship. The mechanical depth comes from managing resources. You build automated networks using solar panels, wind turbines, and water tech to run your gadgets and automate your farming pipelines. It features up to 4 players cooperative multiplayer, meaning you and your squad can team up to build out massive self-sustaining floating paradise. It looks incredibly relaxing, features a brilliant aesthetic, and honestly has all the markings of a massive summer sleeper hit for casual gaming nights with friends. Solarpunk launches on PS5, Xbox Series, PC, and Switch. Right after that, on June 9th, we are getting NBA The Run, and this is definitely not your typical copy and paste annual simulation sports title. Everything about this game is heavily stylized, featuring a distinct handcrafted visual look that leans entirely into pure street ball culture and high-energy arcade physics. Instead of worrying about strict professional basketball rules, exhausting menus, or heavy microtransactions, The run focuses entirely on fast-paced, high-intensity street matchups. It is all about flashy ankle-breaking handles, massive over-the-top dunks, and lightning-fast local or online multiplayer trash talk. The courts look vibrant, the characters' animations are incredibly expressive, and the match times are built to be quick and explosive. If you've been begging for a basketball game that throws away the corporate simulation fluff and brings back the raw, distinct arcade mechanics of old-school street games, this is definitely one you want to keep an eye on. Launching on PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. Fast forward to June 18th, we have a massive double drop day. First up, things get incredibly intense with Hell Let Loose Vietnam. This standalone title is bringing the franchise signature hardcore tactical shooter energy straight into the brutal dense jungles of the Southeast Asia. We're talking about massive 50 versus 50 multiplayer battles where tactical squad teamwork isn't just recommended, it is absolutely mandatory if you want to survive. You can master 17 distinct battle roles across 6 different units, meaning you can pilot helicopters, drive patrol boats down dangerous river networks, or coordinate mortar squads from the rear. The game features 6 massive, large-scale maps packed with extreme terrain, unpredictable weather variants, and historical weaponry. It is completely skipping older-gen consoles to focus entirely on pushing modern hardware. So, the audio design and visual immersion are going to be absolutely top tier. If you want a relentless, realistic military shooter that rewards slow, smart communication, this is your primary target. Hell Let Loose Vietnam launches on PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. Also dropping on June 18th, Square Enix is releasing a highly anticipated new JRPG called The Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales. This project is helmed by Team Asano, the brilliant minds behind Octopath Traveler. But instead of their usual turn-based combat, this is a pure real-time action RPG presented in a gorgeous style. You play as Elliot, exploring ancient ruins and traveling through time across 1,000 years to break a royal curse. Think classic, top-down Zelda-style dungeon exploration mixed with fast combat where you can swap between 7 different weapon types on the fly to hit enemy weaknesses. It even features a 2-player co-op mode where a friend can control your fairy companion to help you solve puzzles. It looks absolutely stunning. It launches on PS5, Xbox Series, PC, and Switch 2. Then, on June 19th, EA Sports UFC 6 steps straight into the octagon, and this time it's completely skipping the older generations of consoles by focusing entirely on modern hardware. The developers made it so every single fighter actually feels like a completely different person. Alex Pereira strikes exactly like he does on TV, and Max Holloway moves with his exact same signature rhythm. They've completely overhauled the ground game to make grappling and submissions way less annoying and a lot more fun to actually play. Plus, the physics are totally revamped. When you land a massive counterpunch, you'll see the sweat fly, the muscles ripple, and the knockouts look brutal and realistic. If you just want a great game, competitive couch multiplayer game to rip through with your friends over the weekend, this is an incredibly easy pick. It launches on PS5 and Xbox Series. And finally, closing out the month on June 25th, we have the biggest drop of the summer. Nintendo is giving Fox McCloud a massive ground-up cinematic revival built exclusively for the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, let's be real. The internet is already having a massive debate over the new, ultra-realistic character designs, but the actual gameplay looks absolutely gorgeous. This is a full modern reimagining of the classic Star Fox 64 formula. It keeps that pure, fast-paced arcade rail shooter action we all grew up with, but adds massive cinematic space battles, a brand new prologue chapter, and fully voice story cutscenes. If you just bought a Switch 2 and you've been waiting for that big one, nostalgic Nintendo game to finally dive into, this is easily the most anticipated drop of the month. So yeah, like I said at the start, June might look a little slow on paper compared to some of the huge months we've had earlier this year. But there are definitely a few hidden gems in there that are going to make the summer drought a lot easier to handle. Personally, I am counting down on the days until Star Fox drops to see what the Switch 2 can really do. But I want to know about you guys. Which one of these 9 games are you actually clearing your schedule for? Drop a comment below and let me know. As always, it's Vikrenx. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.